Yeah, hi. Assalamu alaikum. Today we will be trading GMS and today is 20th June 2025. We are trading GMS because QXO proposed to acquire all GMS for $95.2 per share or $5 billion. Following this, Wall Street Journal also said that Home Depot has made an offer for GMS, though the price remains undisclosed. And it has gapped up, as you can see, it has gapped up all the way from 80 to 105. That makes it slightly interesting. The only problem is that it's a uh, construction based company, and we have never traded anything like this before. Uh, I want to try and get some perspective on the stock, on how it's actually behaving compared to the competition. Just because multiple things can happen. It can open here. Let's look at the daily. It can open, yeah, so it jumped from 80 this area all the way to there. That's very high. It opens, drops all the way till 98 and then consolidates at maybe 100, 203 area. $4 is big move for the company generally in 890 to 85. So yeah, $4 is big move for this company, right? And it has slightly high spread as well, but it's in in play today. We'll see how this company trades. Mhm. Yeah, and the other important thing that we are taking into consideration is that the 1 year price target is 91, and uh, so 91 to 100 is the area where this company is considered fair value. Even QXO has offered to pay 91.2 or 92.5, 95.2 for per share for this stock. So I think 104 would be overvalued, and 90 is somewhere where the fair value is. Previously, it was trading at around 60-ish area. It was struggling to break above 80, and now it has broken above 100. The lows are at 98. The break is above 100. So what is that telling me? Let's try to form a story. The company always beats the lows of 80. 80 is considered good value for the company. 106 is considered overpriced. So fair value lies somewhere in between 80 and 106. 90 clearly is one of those fair values. Even the investors or the people who want to buy the company have deemed it so. And I think they're paying fairly good price for the company. They could have maybe slowly accumulated the stock, but I don't think it works like that. It would have been hard. I think they've already bought a fair share and they might continue buying later. The relative volume yesterday was very high. I think it's because the stock jumped up. Today it has jumped even higher. Hmm. So, how do we trade the stock today is the question. Do we play the overweight angle that this company is too overweight, too overvalued, and we try to get a short in? Or do we try to ride the momentum and try to enter lower? It's best to make plan for both sides, but even the pre-market isn't giving us any idea on the structure. Like, if we look at the pre-market graph, it's telling us nothing. It was shot down from 130. I don't expect the price to go all the way till 130, so that tells us nothing. And the stock failed the highs of 106. Okay, but maybe that is giving us some insight. But nothing too clear. The stock is making higher highs, but even those higher highs are not well defined. This is very interesting behavior. There are no clues. Let's go to my website and let's see what market comparison. So let's click on update data and wait a bit. Let's see how GMS is behaving compared to other other stocks in the same sector. Uh, I should. In the meantime, let's take a look at the industrial sector because I think industrials have been the most hit by the tariff. Industrials is not one of the sectors that I've researched a lot. What is the ETF that tracks industrials? VIS. mm, The iShares. Let's go with Vanguard. VIS. Let's take a look at VIS. Wow. That is some horrible bid ask spread right there. $4. It's insane. VIS is behaving like the SPX, I think. Yeah, very similar to the SPX. Went touched the recent lows. I think SPX is stronger. Let's look at 1 week. Yeah, SPX is a lot stronger than industrials. Let's go back to 1 day. Industrials is towards the higher end of the spectrum, is what we can see. I am. Let's go back to GMS. GMS is trading at 104. EPS, earnings per share. MLM does very well. CAH has very good revenue. GMS is very average in what they do. They're very good revenue, but they don't have exceptional earnings. GMS has very good PE actually. Actually, they have the highest PE in the not highest, but uh, It's higher compared to others. CAH, JCI, Fast, NSC, BLDR, Builders First Resource, Steel Dynamics, Nuclear Corporation, NUE. I've seen my multiple times. GMS, NSC, Fast, Cardinal Health, Johnson Controls International, Lowe's Companies, Home Depot. Home Depot is trying to acquire GMS, right? Home Depot is actually performing very well. I don't see QXO. QXO is the one trying to acquire GMS. So, I mean, GMS performs average. GMS doesn't perform. Let's try to get some more insight from Grok. Why are QXO and HD trying to acquire GMS? Why is General Mills? No, not General Mills. It is it General Mills? It's just GMS, GMS Inc. Their footprint in building products, particularly in 800 billion construction supplier sector. QXO's 5 billion all cash offer. GMS is leading North American distributor of specialty building products like wall board ceiling tiles. Tech enabled platform. QXO is pursuing GMS to expand its building products portfolio, integrate advanced technology, and capitalize on GMS distribution network to achieve its $50 billion revenue goal while addressing GMS underperformance. Home Depot aims to strengthen its contractor focused business and counter QXO's expansion, leveraging GMS network to enhance its market share. Both see GMS as strategic asset in consolidating industry with potential bidding war reflecting its high value. So it's just beneficial. Okay, we found nothing exceptional or nothing too concerning. That means we can start building plans for GMS. Hmm. Let's. Can we dig deeper into this section where the 30-minute graph is the question? This is 13 November. I don't think we can. Alt Shift E. Alt G. 13 November. Okay, we can. We can. Let's go. Let's try to. First, let's mark, I think, the area with most volume done, which is not a surprise, but 100. Then we see volume come in at 99. this area, 99 area, and then it starts reducing a little bit, thins out at 101.5, and then at 102.5. Then we see some more volume at 105, but I think it should be majority selling volume. We cannot do any analysis on this poor man's analysis, all we can do, but for now, let's get rid of this. Let's try to. Mhm. So, GMS tried breaking above the 100, 2.5 to 103 level. It tried staying above 103.5, but it failed 105.6 miserably. And right now it's trading at the 103.5 zone, which is right above. So this can be quite important. In the pre-market, it failed 106, which is this area. It failed. It failed this area in the pre-market. Right. Mm, and it is trying to support 103. Of course, it will not stay completely loyal to this zone, but it gives us some perspective. What, bro? No, because anything can happen to. Okay, but what these zones can do is that they can give us direction. If suppose, okay, let's try to let's try to build a plan off of this, because the last time when this zone was resisted, the stock fell and never came back to this price again. It has come back to this price after a very long time. So, uh, mm-hmm. So if this level is held for more than 5 minutes in the pre-market, we are seeing buyer regression. We are seeing, buyers show interest and whatnot. We see sellers thin out at this level. We can step in and buy. And same thing goes here if we see seller regression at 106. But what if we see conflict? Oh, sorry, what if see confliction? No, conflict, I think is the word. Conflict between the two at these zones. What do you do then? What if you see, because sometimes you see a lot of buyers at 106, a lot of sellers at 102 or at 103, becomes very confusing, and it's not very clean, and you can see some fake outs. So I think, and these two levels are very clear to the general public. It's not very hard to identify these levels. Even the pre-market has shown some level of respect to these price levels. The question is, how do you trade this? How do you understand what the traders are seeing? We should expect front running at 103, 106, but then that zone is too tight. That makes it even tighter. That makes it unsuitable for trading, because any more front running and we start seeing consolidation, so we can expect very heavy consolidation in this area, and then maybe a breakout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we expect consolidation in the first few hours and then a breakout to either side. That is case number one. Let's start drawing lines. Horizontal ray. Path number one is opens here, front running consolidation, and then either breaks, fakes out, up, goes down. This is path one. How do I cancel this? That's a right click for canceling. And path two is opens, opens here, cancel. Uh, bottoms out here and then rallies upwards, break, tests this area, and then goes up. This is one path. Let's try to extend this. First we see consolidation, then we see lower levels being tested, and then a move upwards. Why do you expect lower levels to be tested, Imad? Because if it is consolidated in this area for so long, people want to be sure that if it actually can. Because again, we're going with the idea that the stock is overweight. Hmm. So you do expect consolidation. Yeah, I expect consolidation. Okay, why do you think the stock will not fall directly? Why do you think that it's gonna first fake out above? Because I am betting on the seller's expectations of it going higher, and then them panic selling when they see that okay, the stock cannot be pushed any higher than this. The stock is feeling the push. Okay, okay. Then let's think of another scenario. What if the stock goes like this, like this, like this? Okay, lower high. Is this gonna make the sellers desperate? Is a lower high gonna make the sellers desperate? Is the question. Is it gonna scare the sellers? Hmm. Depends on where we expect the view app to be. Actually, yeah. Will a lower high scare the sellers? No, hmm, this is not the kind of area. This is the stock is testing an area where people are already decided what it's supposed to do. It's a completely brand new area. So the ones who want to sell are going to sell regardless because this is suppose the stock is trading at 80, the stock jumps to 105. People have already made their plans. The ones who want to sell are going to sell. They're not going to hope for an extra $2, $1. It's minuscule to them compared to the $25 move that the stock has shown. So they are not going to necessarily care about that extra $2. So if the stock makes a lower high, it's not going to panic the sellers into driving the price down. If the stock makes a lower high, the sellers I think are because then this all the sellers here are at this level are strategic. Then they're not going to panic. They're going to wait for the price to. It can drop down, obviously. but they're gonna wait for a fake out of this kind. I think exact same behavior as the previous one, but with a lower high. And if it makes a higher high in the consolidation, then that's even better. We don't expect the lows to be tested. I think in this case the rally will be higher. In this case the rally will be shorter. That's something I expect. So we got two situations or two case studies with the consolidation based move. What if there is no consolidation? What if there is a direct drop? If there is a direct drop, if the stock opens, it directly drops to, I don't know, any of these levels. I'm going to wait for it to come back up to the next important level and then maybe make a decision. And then, because if it's falling, then I want to enter at 103 maybe, and then short it down till 99 or 100. This is one path. What other paths can it make? I think the stock opens here, goes and tests 106, and it's then shot down to the lows to this area. Then I can confidently say that this stock is not going to rise because it has tested the highs and it has been rejected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's stick with these five. Then I'm going to have little less confidence on the pullback. In this case, the price never got the chance to test the higher levels. Maybe the sellers wouldn't have rejected that level, or maybe the people are panic selling. If it does not recover till this area, then the price can fall a lot. Then can I copy, clone? It's something like this, right? If it does not pull back to this level, if we start seeing rejection in this area below 102, then it's gonna go lower. Then it's gonna go like really low. Then it's gonna die. Then it's actually gonna. Then it's not gonna make any move, important move. So we have one, two, three, four, five, six scenarios. We expect consolidation if the stock wants to go high, and we expect strong rejections or seller presence if the stock wants to fall. So let's see. We still have, I think, half an hour, but I will not be trading live. I'm just at the moment making plans, and I'll show the end result after. So let me copy. No, wait. Shift. No. Command. Command X. Let's go 5 minute and command V. Yeah. So let's see what actually happens. Let's see how the stocks behave. Do they behave in a way we expect them to, or do they do something else completely different? I can't pause it from here. Assalamu alaikum. Let me check if I was recording and then I lost all of it. Wait, I can connect? Oh, interesting, I can connect. Very okay, so I'll get back to this later. Anyway, the path that GMS ended up taking was the first one. It did not exactly behave like that. We were expecting it to break above 106 and then fall. But since this would have happened if the stock had momentum in it, it did not have any momentum, and the stock just went a little bit higher and then slowed all the way down. This mm, got me thinking about momentum in general, like what exactly creates momentum. For example, something that used to bother me is that a stock can spend. Actually, let's look at this here. This is a very good example. Like, okay, what is the reason for a stock choosing different value areas every day? For example, let's look at these 3 days. This On these 2 days, the stock decided that the value area is 74.5, let's say. But in between these 2 days, it decided that 77 is the right price. 77 is where a lot of volume should be done. Although it was not part of the opening range, these 2 days, the volume was very low on the 76.8 area. So, what, why, why wasn't volume high this day as well? Why isn't like volume staying high in the same area? Why isn't this being decided as the fair value for all 3 days? Why does the market try to seek a new fair value in the middle of nowhere, especially a price that is being rejected? Is it because the people are expecting a breakout? The price did break out later. What exactly is causing the people to look for a different fair value every day? Why isn't the fair value constant for 3 or 4 days? If that actually is the fair value, it should stay as the fair value. You know, the market is continuously trying to look for a new fair value, and that got me thinking about momentum. What creates momentum? Momentum can be created only via two emotions, via the human emotions, fear and greed. Fear and greed creates momentum. In a market like this, there was no fear and greed. This was very calculated, thought out movements. This is not what gives us the best trading opportunities. We want some level of fear or some level of greed in the market. That is what makes us money, gives us opportunity. Because if there was some kind of emotional response that forced the people into believing that the price might break above this area, and people started buying. So this day's fair value was 77, while this day's was 75. And then when the breakout did not happen, it returned back to the previous fair value of 75. You understand? So it's certain expectation that moved the fair value up, isn't it? It's the expectation that the price has moved higher. It might like continue to break higher, and it might like start climbing a lot. Some level of expectation moved the price from 75.5 to 77, right? The fair value, not the price, not just the price, the fair value from 75 to 77.5. I hope I'm making sense because I'm not sure. Now, via that logic, we want to analyze different situations like these to figure out where is momentum. This might not have been the best case to figure out where momentum is. This might have been one of those days you know where the move has already happened. There is nothing exactly triggering any kind of uh, greed in the market, any kind of, there is nothing suggesting that this is the best time to buy, or I don't know, this isn't suggesting anything at all. Let's otherwise we should have seen some kind of emotional response. 1 minute. A lack of emotional response suggests that people are just trying to look for the right value. And the value was overweight, like we discussed. The value was not where we expected it to be. Then it's just traders being reasonable, and you try to, and then you just try to trade it reasonably. You know, in this situation, we were let's say that we were hoping for momentum, and that's why we expected a break up and then break down, and that would have made us good money or something like that. But in reality, the move that happened was something like this. It opened here, it climbed higher. Yeah, it climbed higher, came here, then bounced. Did it bounced till here and then fell? Something like this. And then, like, it fell one more time, but let's just ignore that. So, this was a very sensible behavior. It was trying to look for different fair values. This is why you're seeing breaks in those levels. People were expecting maybe 101.5 as the fair value. No, it's not. Rejected. 101.5 rejected as the fair value. And it decided maybe by like 100.3 is the fair value, because this is the price that is being advertised at the moment. Are people interested in this? Are people interested in buying at this price or not? If 100 was not the right price, it which it stayed for very long, I think 9 to, it's not very very long, but fair enough. No, sorry, 8 o'clock to 3 hours. It stayed in this area for 3 hours. So we can say that people came into some sort of agreement that okay, this might be a decent price. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad, but this might be a decent price for today. 100 point something. Uh, Whereas the other company was trying to acquire it for 95.2. Some might be expecting that they might get better value. You know, I think I'm yapping too much. Uh, anyway, the point of this video is the two emotions that create or that generate momentum, fear and greed. Sometimes it's important for to look for those kind of markets. It's important to understand that the market, whether you're trading today, does it have fear and greed, because that is what is going to create momentum, and this is something you need to consider in your future plans, if the market has momentum or not. I'll end the video here because I think I feel like I've made my point. I'll stop recording. For now, even if I can't trade, I'll at least try to make analysis videos. I'll just try to keep analyzing the market. You know. Yeah, let's just keep going. Anyway, see you inshallah tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. We trade tomorrow.